So right now we are going over the Crown interview, the Queen era edition. Uh I'm excited for this because I actually really enjoyed the Genius interview. I thought like I got a deeper insight into Nicki. I like the live format. I heard this is also like a live format. So I'm ready for this. Let's just get into this. 54 minutes, grab some popcorn, get yourself some water, some sustenance, you know what I'm saying? We're just gonna strap in, we're gonna do this.
Elliott Wilson.
There we go.
This
I like
is
him.
Crown. Crown is a live interview series where we get fans like you to be with your favorite
This is what I
artists.
would
We've done this
pause.
since
Pause. We paused
2012.
already real quick. This is what I see myself doing. Some format of this. Like interviews with artists. I would love to do something like this. I would love it. Okay. So now that I've gone through her whole entire discography, right, I do have to say, I think the Queen era is my favorite. I think Pink Friday is the most nostalgic for me. I got a lot of good memories on some of them older Nicki songs, but Queen songs are staying in my playlist. I love the songs off Queen, like a good like 5 or 6 of them. I love it. Yo, I feel like these huge artists should do stuff like this. Like I feel like Kendrick did it on To Pimp a Butterfly, if I'm remembering correctly. Like doing just a small tour, maybe like 10 shows. Like super small venues, these gigantic superstars, just super small venues. Like I think Ariana Grande would benefit off that with Positions. I feel like Positions would sound the best in like a very intimate setting. And like I just feel like it would be like a dope fan experience. I feel like it would be awesome.
First and foremost, and thank you for doing this. I started with Hard White because I feel like that's like, you know, obviously one of the hardest cuts. And on that song,
damn right,
you have the refrain about working hard. Like a lot of hard work was put into this album. Can you talk about like that process for you and like how rewarding is it now to finally be able to share it with the world?
Yeah, it's definitely been my longest break between albums, and it's because I felt like, you know, I owed it to my fans to give perfection this time. Like I feel like there's no sense in rushing the work because you can never do it again. Like I knew I would never be able to put out the 4th album again. So I wanted to take my time. I know my fans were like,
I don't know why, but that hit me hard.
When you gonna put it out?
You have it like, and you promised that it was your best body of work. Like, why do you feel it is your best? When you listen back to the mix, like, how would you explain why
I'm liking
this is
his
your best
questions.
body of work?
His questions are great out the gate.
It's the best body of work because I put more attention. I'm always very big on detail, but this time I feel like I made every lyric count, every bar, every punchline, every like flow. And also, I feel like even when I slowed it down with like some of the slower cuts, it didn't drag, you know? Like I didn't want the slower songs to be super long, like 4-minute songs. So that's why Run and Hide and even Come See About Me, they aren't really long. They're like just enough to get you in your feelings and to get out.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite memories?
The only thing that I don't agree with what she just said is that outro on the Weekend joint. Right? That's the song that has like the super long outro. It's like y'all know me and outros. Me and outros don't mix. I still listen to that song a lot, but I hit skip immediately when that outro comes on.
I had this hook from Sway Lee, who I love, and I knew this record was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's so hard. I don't need to. I'll get it. I kept on just putting it up. I'll get it. Yeah. I know I'm a freak it when you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, it was time to turn my album in, and I didn't have shit written on this. Like, I didn't have nothing done. So I'm like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? I'm scared now because I don't wanna not have it on there. So the verses that you guys hear on Chun's Sway, that first verse is, I promise you, I had to do it in like 15 minutes. And then the second verse, I took it off of a different record. So I do want to go back and do.
Because you know what it is? No, I will say
Wait,
that.
did she go?
It is so raw.
Did she go back? No, she didn't? Oh, okay. That's surprising just because the beginning of the interview where she was saying she was so like technical on perfecting it and all that kind of stuff. But then I guess like for that specific one, I guess she thought that hook and the beat were so nice that she could just like, what she said, like 15 minutes or whatever.
It kind of sounds like a really great demo because it's so raw. The whole thing of like,
it is. It is a really great demo, but I want to change the verses personally because to me, like, if you listen to any other record on the album, if you listen to Good Form, if you listen to LLC, I'm riding that beat crazy.
Ooh, interesting. So she wanted to change it. Interesting.
Okay, you guys love Good Form. Y'all liked Good Form since y'all. But listen, am I gonna get your blessings, y'all, to update the verses on Chun Sway?
Wait, what is this updating thing? Why am I like? Was she going to like? Cause it's on streaming. She was gonna change it later. Like that was the game plan, kind of like Kanye did on Life of Pablo. Oh, okay. I wonder why she never did it then. Why didn't she do it? The fans said no. I would have loved to like hear that song with. Like a rapping focus on it, like hardcore, like she's saying, like doing something like LLC or Barbie Dreams or something. Good for him. That would have been crazy.
In the beginning, you guys, I never spoke about my personal life at all. Like, niggas thought that was my gay best friend. And not in a negative way, but it's just like I kept my private life private, and it's because of that. Because I wanted people to only talk to me about my music and my craft. And then after the whole,
I feel like she's going back to that. I feel like she's going back to kind of like only showing a little bit, having the focus be completely on the music.
Yeah, I always feel like that. So it was a blessing that certain things just happened, like the ending, the second section of Barbie Dreams. I had that. That was Roman for sure. That was Roman for sure. But I had that for a few years, just sitting in a tuck, and that just happened. Yes, I did. Yep. And who gonna check me? I didn't put it on the pink print. And you know what else too? I wanna like on the documentary, and I don't know exactly when the documentary is coming. I don't know exactly when it's coming. Probably in a couple weeks. But like,
wait,
but
what?
I wanna play.
What? A couple weeks.
As soon as I took a couple pills, I just got really inspired by that beat. I had just heard the beat for the very first time in my life. And 5 minutes later, I walked in the booth and laid the ganja burn part. Right? That part? But what came to my head first to say was, every time I get high, I just think about you. So now, cut to afterwards when I write the raps and they're hard, I didn't want to change that. Now, the old me would have changed it to go with it's a hard rap. But the new me is so comfortable in my creative choices. I was like, no, fuck that. That's what I felt. That's really what I felt on the chorus the first moment I heard it. So I'm gonna just, and you know what I realized? I said, wow, people, human beings, we're like that. We might be having a raw as fuck conversation. We might be angry, but in the middle of there somewhere, there's still vulnerability, there's still pain, there's still love. So I was like, I don't have to change it. If this is what the beat says to me, then it'll speak to other people that way too. So
Interesting.
I just left it.
So I love songs that have like juxtaposition, like he's talking about, right? Like I was just talking about that with the reaction I just did today with Girl on Fire remix. That juxtaposition they did. The thing that I don't get with Ganja Burn, and I feel like a lot of people are trying to explain it to me, like the topic wise, I feel like the verse and the hook don't match. They seem very different, which, I mean, she just explained why that is. And so I like the concept of the verses being hard and the hook being soft, right? It gives you that variety. I just don't know what the hook has to do with the song still. That's just kind of like on that song where I get a little lost. Yeah, I feel like that's where I get lost on that song. Like I was sitting here like listening to the explanation, still trying to piece together the concept she was going for. Like, I don't know, like, was it like she wasn't even saying like the verses are kind of inspired by what she was thinking when she was high. She was saying that she has kind of like two different sessions going on. One where she got high, she thought of the hook, she came back, she rapped something to it. Just happened to be different vibes, which is fine. I don't know. That's the only, like, I guess, like, problem I have with Ganja Burn, because I get it conceptually, like what she's talking about. Yeah, like Maria. So yeah, like I get that. I get conceptually, like the emotions involved in that whole concept of like humans are diverse. You know, thinking of all these different kind of things while listening to the song. You know, they'll feel that if I put that emotion into it. I get that 100%. I love that. Topic wise is where it kind of gets a little confusing to me.
A lot of your content is about almost like you asserting your strength. You know, why do you think that seems to be kind of such a staple in
I actually had the same
approach
question
in songmaking?
I
brought
just
that up
feel
a
like
lot, I feel like.
when I started rapping, everyone was a battle rapper. So to me, rap has gotten so soft now. Like, it's like everybody's so sensitive and everybody looks for every little line. Are you talking about me?
That's only gotten worse in the last 3 years.
It's like, my nigga, it's rap. It's rap. This is not opera. This is rap. So sometimes you're gonna hear some shit that I listen to records that I put out 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And if I was to put it out right now, you would think I'm talking about somebody right now. Because that's just how New Yorkers rap.
That's
like,
so funny because I actually think there was like a tweet going around where, y'all know I don't gossip, so I'm not going to say specifics, where Nicki was talking about somebody, but it was like a song before, like the song came out before the person even started rapping. So I thought that was funny. Oh, man. So she was right about that, too. Over here, prophesizing.
When Lil Wayne came to New York and had the audacity to say on New York radio, he's the greatest rapper of all time and he's better than Jay-Z, niggas wanted to slap the fuck out of him. But he said what he fucking said.
True.
Yeah.
He said what the fuck he said. And you know what ended up happening after that? After he claimed that over himself?
Manifested it, yeah.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
Hey, that's
How do you
okay.
deal with that?
Okay.
Because it's
Okay. I want to make a whole separate video about this because it makes me so mad. It makes me so angry. So I don't understand. Okay. People are always like, you can't claim yourself to be the greatest. Other people got to say it about you, right? Like if you say it first, you're like some type of like, I don't know, egotistical person or whatever. But like, you have to claim it. You got to think you're the best way before other people think you're the best, right? And I feel like the most recent case of this is Lil Baby. I love that Lil Baby said that he was the Wayne of this generation. I like that because it's not like he's not actively backing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like he is featuring on the biggest artists, songs, you know what I'm saying? Going toe to toe with them. You know, like he's not there yet. Obviously, it's going to take him a long time to become a Lil Wayne of his generation. But, like, he has to declare it first, right? Like, you have to. You got to have more belief in yourself than anybody else to become the best at what you're doing. And, like, Lil Baby is taking the steps to be the Lil Wayne of his generation. Like, he's taking those steps. Like, he's releasing a ridiculous amount of records. He's featuring on a whole bunch of prominent people's songs and going toe to toe or doing better than them. Like he's taking the steps and like, so he's backing it up. But like, it's like, I mean, yeah, like, but everyone always, I hate when people do that. I hate when, oh, you can't call yourself the best. What? No, you got to.
manifested it, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. How do you deal with that? Because it seemed like for the time you got to the point where you were so dominant, and especially in the female rapper space, and you'd win all the awards, and it was almost like you almost started getting embarrassed because it was like, you know, there wasn't as much competition. Now it seems like it's way more competitive.
Pause one more time. Elliot, I'm going to study this guy's interviews. I feel like his questions and the flow that he has going right now is really good. I like the flow that he's on right now. These questions are just flowing.
I will say this.
People
People
use
use the
competition
word competition loosely. And sometimes I don't know what people mean when they say that. And also I think it's insulting
What a
to
subtle
say
flex.
I didn't have competition all these years ago, because there's always been great female rappers in the industry. And it's not right to say that.
Okay. Yeah. But do you embrace that, or do
got
you
a
feel
point.
like it's very important for you to assert that you have the top position? Like, what statement is
There's
saying?
nothing that
calling
could
queen
not, I can't not have the top position. No, I'm not trying to be funny. That's like, I'm not trying to be funny. That's really like you, hold on. That's really like you bringing Jordan here right now and asking him, does he have the top position?
But isn't it similar to a certain sense in the male field where you fellow YMCB, Drake's accomplishments are beyond a lot of the landscape, but
Yeah.
the same thing where it's like, because somebody's been that successful, they almost always fighting for that idea that they're the hottest right now, and that there's a challenge to
I
that.
don't fight for that. If I was fighting for that, I would have been dropping a record every year.
Yeah.
I would be dropping a record. I'd be dropping an album every couple months.
Was she agreeing that that's kind of the route Drake takes? I don't know. That's kind of like what that sounded like to me. That's kind of what that sounded like to me. Like, no, she's not taking the Drake route. She's doing kind of like more of a legacy kind of thing. Because Drake does drop every year. I don't think she was necessarily shading Drake, but I mean that is what Drake kind of does, right? Like I'm not trying to be shady here. I'm being like dead serious. Like Drake kind of like Drake is a legacy rapper too, but at the same time, like it's obvious that he does like to be at the top, like hot at the moment in all moments. Like I feel like that's kind of like what Drake kind of has built his like career on. Like that's kind of like the moves he makes. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't mean that in like any type of, I'm not trying to take anything away from Drake.
I would be dropping a record. I'd be dropping an album every couple months.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand I can do that.
So do you?
I can. No, seriously.
I wanna
can
know
do
what
that. The reason I don't
want her
do
to go
the
into-
reason that I
okay,
let
yeah.
me tell you
Go,
the reason
go.
why that I don't do that, and the reason why I can come off of the internet for months and chill is because I'm not intimidated. I know who I am. I know who I am.
Yeah.
I know my capabilities. Therefore it's like I don't have to fiend out and rush and thirst and
Yeah.
Sometimes if I want to take a cut, if I want to take 2 years off, I'm gonna take 2 years off and chill. Like I'm not. It is. Nothing changes.
Let's get back to the album. One of the most popular songs.
So even though she has that confidence, what do you think it is about her career or how she's how she set up her career where she can take 4 years off and do Queen, or it's about to be like another maybe 3 or 4 years before she drops her 5th project. Like what do you think it is about Nicki that allows that to happen? I'm curious what y'all have to say about that. Yeah, I mean, definitely on her end, like what she's saying, like, yeah, I agree. Like with what she's saying, the way she approaches it, like internally, she's cool. I'm just wondering, like externally, like what kind of moves has she made that kind of allows for that to take place? Because that's a luxury, right? Like not like the 0.00001% of artists can do that. Connection. So like basically her relationship with her fans. I could see that. That's really number one, even more than the music, to be honest with you. Like if you need to have that connection with the people that you're touching with your music. That seems to be like number one.
Nicki's gonna always have that track that things get a little emotional, and it's come and see me for once.
Come see about me.
Come see about me.
He got the title wrong.
You said that record, like,
but he
probably
shouted it out nonetheless.
What was it like making that
Come
record,
see
and why is
about
that
me,
record such an
baby.
important piece of the album?
Let's go.
Well,
He was talking about the Drake and Party Next Door song. Oh my God. Come and see me for once. No. Yo, that's hilarious. Oh my god. Come and see me for once. That's my jam though. You don't ever come to me. Oh my god.
I think that sometimes when we're in relationships, we make that person God. And that person is not God. Okay?
Preach.
You have to learn that you will be just fine without them. And when you have that
I wanna
confidence and
get
that
some
strength
life
and that
coaching
security, you bring so
Stuff
much
right
more
now.
to the
Advice,
table. You know?
lessons.
And whenever
She's
a person
preaching.
wants you to be clingy or insecure, something ain't right. That means they want you at your lowest self. Right. They know that's a way to manipulate you. They know that's a way to, just keep you where you at. People tell me horrible things about myself all the time, hoping that I won't be confident. And hoping that maybe if she's not confident, maybe she won't post sexy pictures and I can, niggas won't look at my girl, But when you got with Nicki Minaj, you knew this is, So I'm careful with it, but I'm also careful not to rush into anything anymore where people are just very insecure.
Yeah. But speaking of them playing into...
Don't
That
switch.
really actually, I think it was great to see that they didn't show insecurity and they actually took it. Most of the people took it with a great reaction. Was the Barbie Dreams record, right? Where you go in and you playfully like take control in that situation. Like what made you go that direction with that record? Do you remember what inspired that?
The transition. Oh, the transition. Oh, that was A1, y'all. That was nice. That was dope because he took the concept of the insecurity and the confidence, that concept she was talking about, and was saying, okay, well, yeah, you may step back in this relationship, but you didn't do that on Barbie Dreams. Oh, that was a dope transition. That was fire. And like, that was hard to do too. Let me tell you why. Because she was talking for a while there. She had to talk for a good 3-4 minutes straight, maybe even longer than that. And so he took the essence of what she was saying, brought it back to the topic of the music. Fire. I'm gonna take pointers from that one. That was good.
I had that idea to like, I'm really gonna do this and I'm just gonna go in.
You
But
wanna know
real
what's so
quick,
crazy?
Outside of sorry, I'm watching the interviewer just as much as I'm watching Nicki. But as far as what she was saying, codependency, y'all. I be talking about codependency all the time. We are raised in a culture of codependency in relationships, not just with humans, but with it as we're in relation to things, with education, with whatever, food, whatever. We're just like codependent on so many things. And it's like that because of capitalism, basically. But we don't have to get into all that. But basically, work on your codependency. If you could work on your codependency with how you're in relation to things, people, whatever, your life gets so much better. I had to work on that for years. I'm still working on it, but I was bad with it. Like when I was like early 20s, late teens, I was bad.
I believe that when you can digest the entire body of work and you can hear things like Ganja Burn and Nip Tuck, then you can hear Barbie Dreams. Because don't forget, I get held to a higher standard. Because God forbid I say the word pussy and dick. Because male rappers don't talk about fucking and sucking and eating and you know what I mean? Only Nicki Minaj talks about sex. So I felt it was my responsibility to not put something that was that raunchy out first. Because they just always on my dick.
Interesting. That seems to be a running theme.
And even Flex said that last night.
That seems to be a running theme. Like going all the way from Pink Friday. Like just something that she has to be so aware of. Like the public's perception of the just like the nature of, having like music with sex in it, right? Like she has to be like so hyper aware of that. Another, like thing just because she's a woman, right? That's wild. Like it's something that's just like always there. Like that's crazy.
And I was telling him that Jay-Z told me the same thing. He was like,
you're held to a higher standard.
Higher standard. Everyone gets judged less than me. And my fans be having bars. That was a fucking bar. Wow.
How did Barb think of you looking back on it?
Look,
Like, why?
so on a societal level, Marie, I just saw your comment. So you said that she had to be hyper aware of the sexual stuff and now they're getting celebrated for it. I feel like it's still kind of iffy, right? Like for the Grammys, was it Grammys? I can't remember. When they did WAP, Cardi got sued for that. You know what I'm saying? And I bet like if a man did that, they would not get sued for that. So I feel like it's both. I feel like it's getting more accepted, but at the same time, societal wise, it's still like looked down upon. Like, you know, like yes, like WAP was a huge record, for example, but at the same time, there was a lot of controversy. And when it comes to like where Nicki's trying to be, as far as like being like the GOAT rapper and all this kind of stuff, like songs like that take like Cardi and like Meg out of the conversation. Like it's looked down upon still. And that like in that regard, like in the hip hop world, like, oh, like they're just being sexual, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I don't know. Like, I feel like society wise is becoming a little bit more accepted, but I still feel like there's a double standard with it. 100%. I feel like women still get judged really heavily for it still. Like, it still seems like it is something to be aware of. Like, do we want to take this risk kind of thing? Like, it is a risk, basically, when it really shouldn't be.
Why is this? We've seen other fan movements, but this obviously seems very strong and very special and very consistent, almost to the point that sometimes they step out of control. And now, do you bear any responsibility from when they do that, in your viewpoint?
Well, when my fans and I first started interacting on Twitter, I used to tell them, do not drag people. I used to unfollow them if they dragged people and if they were mean to people. However, it's but so much my fans can take. It's like if you fuck with somebody and you keep on seeing people lying on them and hurting them and not giving them their props, you would be mad too. And my fan base is not like a fan base. We like family. I always say that. I find it odd that motherfuckers want to be able to say the most horrific things about me, but when my fans get in that ass, they want to play victim. But when everyone's attacking me, I'm just supposed to stay there and take it. I'm not allowed to defend myself because, oh, you're too big to defend yourself. But you just said I was a nobody. So which one is it? You know, they love to rip me apart.
I don't want to necessarily have this conversation on this video. But I'm curious, like I might make a whole separate video for this just to like have the conversation in totality. But I'm curious, like, what do y'all think? What's a good way to phrase a question? Like, do artists have a responsibility when it comes to like their fans and how their fans interact? And I know we've talked about this in the Discord a lot. Well, not a lot, like a few different times. And like, I know like Nicki was just saying like at the beginning, she used to like, you know, unfollow people, all this kind of stuff. And then another thing that I am realizing is I do feel like there is a power dynamic with celebrities when it comes to when they respond to people online. Like, I feel like I became aware of that with like Donald Trump and like how Donald Trump would just like quote regular people. Like, I feel like there's a certain level of responsibility and like a way of like how you should go about that, because like in ways that can like put people's lives in danger. Like, for real, like we see that happen when like people with huge platforms like quote like everyday people, and then like they just get like a ridiculous amount of hate and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. That's just like a whole conversation. Like I'm not like insinuating anything. I have no answers for that. Like, it's just something to think about, because you kind of see like the ramifications when huge accounts like quote tweet people.
When I came back and saw that my fans have been making the fucking covers of blogs and magazines and newspapers, I cracked up fucking laughing, because I was like, you know what? Oh, well, that's what the fuck y'all get. Leave me the fuck alone. Shut the fuck up. My fans be minding their own business. My fans will really mind their business if y'all will leave me the fuck alone. So when I see people coming for my success, I really feel bad for all the other artists who are trying to do their thing. Artists who haven't put out an album in a long time. They see niggas dissing me and being like, but meanwhile, they don't even, there's some artists that don't have a song on the Hot 100 right now. So how you think y'all making them feel? You know what I'm saying? I see
I've been talking about this. I don't like that either, Nicki. I don't like that either. I get heated about this because I don't like when people take someone new and compare them to like the 0.0000001%, which is like Nicki, Kendrick, Drake, etc. artists, and like compare their accolades to each other all the time. Like, what is that? That's not fair to the up and coming artists. Like, Nicki should not be a baseline. Nicki should be like you're shooting for the star in the moon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is an outlier. Like, reaching Nicki Minaj status is not normal. It'll never be normal. Only a couple people will ever do it, right? So, like, I don't like how we hold these goats and these legends as like, oh, if you're not on Kendrick Lamar's level of albums, your album is shitty. If you can't drop punchlines like Nicki Minaj, you're a terrible rapper. That doesn't make sense. If people are half as good as Nicki, they're still a good artist. If they're like 10% as good as Nicki, they're still a decent artist. Like, if you pass Nicki Minaj, you are a legend. Like, that doesn't make you good. That makes you more than exceptional. That makes you a legend. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, let people be good at what they do. Not everyone has to be absolutely legendary when it comes to music. Let people be decent and enjoy their decent music. Let people be good and enjoy their good lives and their good music and their good discography. Like, not everything has to be so extremely good. Stop having goats be a baseline. They're not the baseline. They're an outlier. No one's supposed to be as good as Nicki Minaj. That's not going to happen. She's an outlier. Drake is an outlier. Kendrick is an outlier. Jay-Z is an outlier. Eminem's an outlier. Like if you even breathe their air, you're in special air. So like, chill on that. Okay. Woosah. Okay, let's keep it going.
But people are sitting here dissing me when I have 4 fucking songs on the Hot 100.
Exactly. Not normal.
And an album that's #1 in 85 countries.
Not normal.
Like,
Utterly
how does that
exceptional.
make sense? So when you diss my success, you're dissing so many other people, so many other artists who don't even have one record on the Hot 100 right now. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
This is why I can tell with that mentality. That's why all these younger artists probably like working with Nicki and getting features from Nicki. It's not for the hype. It's probably because she like genuinely enjoys their music. You know what I'm saying? And like sees them as artists and sees them as people. Not just like, oh, you have to be towards what I'm doing to like, you know, come in this game. Like, who do you think you are? You know, like she probably does. I can tell with that perspective that she has, she doesn't act like that. I can tell. And that's probably why she works with like younger artists so much. And probably why younger artists always like working with her.
Sit out like because that's one thing you have done in the hiatus. You've been very active with guest features, and like you said, now look at Fifi. That record, it's almost like you're almost competing with yourself. Though, how does that feel when you're on a record and you're also competing against your singles?
Right. Well, I try not to have the same. Sonically, I try to always keep them different. Which there are a couple records that are about to come out, you know, with a different sound. I wouldn't put out a record that sounds like that myself. I would let the artist, the artist who's featuring me, shine in that space. Yeah. But they do know that obviously, right now there's some female singers that, you know, I wouldn't normally get on their song, but I took a step back, and one singer told me this label recently dropped her, and it really hurt me. And I was just like, I listened to this girl's record, and she's super talented. And I listened to other people they have on their label, and I'm just like, yikes. It's really all a popularity contest. Labels do not care about talent anymore. It's about your popularity. So the music.
She ain't fucking lying. She ain't lying at all. Listen, I feel like it's only gotten worse. I feel like the people that came in and showed that social media rap was viable for labels to invest in, to put their capital behind, started a huge wave of like, if you have an audience, you could put music out. Like, I don't care what you do. If you open Pokemon cards for a living and you got 1 million followers, you can make a song and there will be a label to put money behind it. I guarantee you know them Pokemon opening videos, those card videos they have right now? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know you do. I guarantee if someone came out with like a Pokemon remix to the theme song that had a big Pokemon channel like that, it would have a chance of going like top 10 Billboard off TikTok alone. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it would. But yeah, it's all popularity now. Talent doesn't matter. What did Drake say? Drake had a line about that recently. I can't remember what song that was on, but he recently had a bar about that. He said like people are celebrities. I can't remember. Whatever. Let's keep it going.
Industry has changed drastically because of that. So when I was growing up, I would put on the radio and hear talented people. When you guys put on the radio now.
Yo, why is she so funny though? Oh my God. Yo, she's hilarious sometimes, man. She said, she said when I was growing up, I put on the radio and heard talented people. Run that back.
So you gotta hold on and treasure the ones that are still here, not because of popularity alone. Yeah. And I would be silly to say that I'm not here because of, popularity partially, right? Because my fans are such a powerful force. Like, they'll get something trending. I got Queen Radio now, and like we had, oh my God, that's so dope. But at the same time, I never have ever relied on that just by itself. I never relied.
That reminds me of the thing when people first. Why did you decide to pair with Future for this tour?
Future has always been someone who I consider a real friend. Now, in this industry, you have friends and then you have friends. And he's one of my friends, He's someone who I've never dated. I've never did anything romantic with, nothing. But when I sit down in a room with him, he and I can talk for hours. He talks to me like how he would talk to a guy. Like, we talk about the industry, we talk about business moves. And so when some things didn't work out how I wanted it to with the tour, I thought about Future, because Future has so many hits that it's like, to me, even if Future ain't put out a hot album two weeks ago, he got so many fucking hits.
Catalog,
Yes, his catalog is exceptional to be a rapper, from Atlanta.
Actually, wait.
So I was
pause.
like, let me see if.
Would a Nicki Future tour? I'm trying to think of like the best artists of 2010, and Nicki and Future are definitely on there, like top 10 for sure. The only other tour I could think that would have had that kind of quality was back in 2011. I think it was 2011, maybe 12, Drake's tour. He had Kendrick on there. That would have been a crazy tour to go to. That would have been wild. But yeah, like 2018, Nicki and Future would have been like, oh yeah, Watch the Throne. Ooh yeah, that's... Oh, and then Drake and Wayne did that Versus tour. But Nicki and Future would have been like one of the biggest names of tours, I feel like, in the last decade, I would say. You got like Beyonce and Jay-Z, Nicki and Future, Drake and Wayne, Drake and, like I said, Kendrick, Kanye and Jay-Z. Yeah, that would have been like a huge name of a tour.
So I was like, let me see if Future would want to do it. And he immediately said, I'll love to do it, So I was like, okay, perfect. I feel like he was one of those people who treated me the same way. When everybody turned their back on me, he treated me the same fucking way. He never switched up on me.
I mean, not
That's
to go back
important
to
to
be
her, it
negative,
seems
but
like.
how did
If
you
you were
how
as
did you
big as
overcome
Nicki, I
Do
feel
you
like that would be an important
the tide's
quality.
turning and whatever? You shed a lot of people up. You think with this album and
Yeah.
needs to go back in a way. And is it important for you to like be viewed as more popular? What does that mean for your career at this point?
No, I don't want to be viewed as more popular. I want to be viewed as skillful.
Yeah.
I don't know why people get me misconstrued. I don't care about all that other stuff. Skill.
Yeah.
The word of the day is skill. Thank you, baby. I want people. Let me tell you what made me so happy.
I feel
was that
like
people,
okay. Would y'all say that a lot of the narratives around Nicki that she doesn't really like started with Roman Reloaded? Because I feel like that's where the concept of her like doing only popular stuff would come from. Not like worrying about her skill set and stuff like that would come from. I feel like a lot of that would have started around that time. And it seems like she can't really escape those storylines and those narratives. They seem to be lingering still to this day. Yeah, like it's crazy because so y'all are agreeing with that statement that I just made, and it's just wild because like that album came out 9 years ago, 9 years ago, 9 years ago. So it's almost been like a whole decade since that album dropped. And it's the narratives are like still kind of lingering. Oh yeah, no, I know the importance of Roman Reloaded. I'm just saying like a lot of these things she always has to clarify about her artistry and like what she's about and all that. It seems to have come from that time period.
all this time working so hard. And like, that means something to me. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't matter. It matters. That's what we do this shit for. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about all of the greats, all of the people I look up to told me that I impressed them with this album. Do you know how good that feels?
It's funny because I think that's the path you're on now too. Is that you want that uncertified greatness. Like you talk to Jay, you work with M, you still are under the tutelage of Wayne. It's like it's important for you to like be part of that bigger entity, like that you're recognized amongst those greats when it's all said and done.
Listen, Pink Friday, Eminem, Kanye West, and prior to Pink Friday, I was already on a record with Jay and Kanye. So you tell me, what new artist gets co-signed by Jay, Kanye, Eminem, and Wayne?
Hey, the only person I could think of that came close to that, I've been thinking about this since the last interview. I forgot Chance. Chance the Rapper was hyped, and he was on a lot of different kind of stuff, especially on the Ye side of things. And man, I don't know what happened to Chance, man. I don't know what happened to Chance. I really hope his next album pops off. I really do. I really hope he has a good third album. He can't go out like that. He really can't. But yeah, I couldn't. I think Nicki, I was thinking about the whole like monster thing from the Genius interview and like getting on a record with already established legends and then going toe to toe with them. And I couldn't think of anybody. There's been, yeah, I couldn't think of anybody. Not before their first album. I couldn't think of anybody.
You tell me, what new artist gets co-signed by Jay, Kanye, Eminem, and Wayne? What would be the equivalent to that now? To me, it's still the same. They still the ones you gotta see, right? You still gotta check in. My thing is, no, that's never happened before or since, has it?
Well,
So
Iffy is also Kendrick, but I can't remember who he was on a song with prior to Good Kid, Mad City. But he was co-signed by like everybody prior to Good Kid, Mad City. But technically, Section 80 was his first album. I personally don't count that as his first album because it wasn't a major release. TDE has this thing where like they don't put out mixtapes. They always put out projects for pay, like to buy. So technically, Section 80 wasn't a mixtape. But if someone else would have dropped it, it would have been. But anyway, I think Kendrick's the only person that's close with what she's talking about. That's the only person I could think of.
Like, I got so many messages from so many people like, yo, you outdid yourself. I'm proud of you. And that's why I do this. Not for fucking popularity. I have popularity. I could stop doing this right now and still be talked about every fucking day. I can do dumbass shit and be in the news every day. Instead, I go to the studio and push my pen. That's what I want to do.
She's right. She really doesn't top shit.
But I don't know if you heard the story I said about LLC, that Jay complimented my third verse.
Third one. Now I love the first one.
And because you love the first one because he didn't compliment my first one, so I rewrote the first one. So that's why the first one is now the best one. Because he said he liked, other songs, but on this song, he made it his business to only compliment one verse out of the song. So I know he's a smart person, and I know that was probably his way of saying, you could have came harder on them other two. So
see, pause real quick. This is also why I have to put Jay-Z at like number 1 or number 2 all time. Like, the power of Jay-Z's been rapping for so long that someone like Nicki in 2018 would still, hold his opinion so high, still reach out to him, still see him in such a high regard. Like, and that's like every rapper. Like, every rapper is like that with Jay. So it's like, he's gotta be up there. Like, all these rappers look up to Jay-Z, like, for advice and feedback and just like, you know what I mean? And like, if Jay-Z dropped an album tomorrow, it would still probably go platinum in no time at all. Like, Jay-Z just has it. Like, he's a certified legend. Gotta be my number 1 or number 2, honestly.
I just put it in my little, you know what I'm saying? And when he left, I was like, yo, Juice, pull up LLC. Like, we getting that shit over,
Keep it
nigga.
rolling, Juice.
Yeah.
And Nicki, congratulations again, Alman. Thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you. Make some noise for Elliot, y'all.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj. Thank you.
That was a good interview. I liked that one better than the Genius one, actually. I definitely like that one better than the Genius one. That was fire. I like that a lot. Okay. Well, yeah, that was very insightful. That kind of like answered a lot of questions I feel like I was having just in general, like throughout the reactions I was doing and everything like that, or conversations I was having. That was dope. I would want her to do that again for her next project. Like, do this again. I liked Elliot a lot. And I actually liked his interview with Drake too on the Artist of the Decade thing. The way that Nicki sees art, as far as like we were talking about with the new artists, I didn't know she had that perspective of not really looking for the popularity at all, just kind of like reaching out, or like she said she doesn't even reach out, but I guess like having an ear, like when she decides if she's gonna do something, like having an ear for the music, if she could see it being good and her being on it and being a hit and whatnot, and like the craftsmanship of like whether it's the beat or the artist or whatever. I didn't know she had that point of view. I didn't know that's how she went about deciding like her features and everything like that. I thought that was awesome. Then like the other thing that just really stood out to me, this being 3 years old and kind of where we are in 2021, is like, like a lot of these narratives are like false narratives, like sticking to Nicki, which is unfortunate. It makes me think of her next project differently. I always knew that she focused a lot on her pen. But for whatever reason, with this interview, I see it differently. I think it's like the lack of the popularity part. I think that when someone's as big as Nicki, in my mind, I'm kind of always thinking that they at least consider popularity, right? But for what she was talking about, she really spends her time on the craft and kind of only the craft. And I feel like it shows, not necessarily with like how good she is as a rapper, but I'm saying like in the songs she picks to feature on, and Queen being her last era, you really see it on that album. And so moving forward, like if she's really not too concerned about popularity and all that kind of stuff, I'm really interested to see what that means moving forward. Because we did get a very lyrical album with Queen. And if she's kind of like diving into that even more, it'll be interesting to see how she differentiates herself right now, because this was 3 years ago. Right now, popularity is even like more of a thing, as far as like why artists are popping and everything like that. So it'll be really interesting to see this is the path everyone is going. Where's Nicki going? And not because she's choosing to like be different, but she just has a different mindset than a lot of people right now, especially in the entertainment industry. So I feel like this next album is just gonna be different. I feel like it's gonna be something that, especially because female rap has gotten a lot bigger in the last 3 years, but a lot of it is like the path a lot of female rappers is taking is similar. It'll be interesting to see when Nicki comes back and drops a project in an era where female rap is really booming, how she's like differentiates herself. Because after hearing this, like I feel like it's gonna be way different than what we're used to at the moment. It'll be a breath of fresh air, I think. So I'm excited for that. I feel like that's what the interview kind of did for me. I see how media has played a huge role in, like the narrative surrounding Nicki. And I feel like a lot of the time she has tried to address them, like she was saying with like Chun-Li and everything, like, oh, I'm listening. But yeah, I want to see where she's going. Right? Because like, okay, think about it. Seeing Green is one of my favorite songs of the year, right? And like Nicki even made a comment on this, but like it's a hit song that's like 5 minutes of rapping. You don't get that now. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's doing that. Like that's literally like the only song that's hitting like that. That's like 5 minutes of straight rap, no hook. So like I feel like we'll get some things like that moving forward, right? She's not even dropping videos, and we've come to expect a video with a song. Like that's what we expect. She's not even doing that. So I feel like we're just gonna get something very different. I can't wait for that. I feel like it's gonna be fire. Yeah, I think this interview got me like way more hyped than I was, honestly. Like I was excited for it after hearing, especially after hearing like Seeing Green and Fractions and stuff. I was excited for it, but now I'm like, I'm waiting for it now. I'm waiting for it now. So until next time, I'll see y'all.